Yes, people, welcome back to the 1894 podcast. I'm Hugh, and I've got Daragh here with me, as I always do. And today we're bringing you a slightly different video, as always, to our usual previews and reviews. We're trying to mix up our content and bring some other stuff into it, like our thoughts on certain situations and players and ongoings of the club, so you guys can get involved as well. So today we are doing Daragh's preferred starting 11. Like he thinks is City's best 11 to put out in the pitch. Putting form aside, current form, just who he thinks is the 11 best players to have on the pitch if we were to go into a Champions League final.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's fit. Champions League final, everyone's fit, everyone's in form. Who do we go with? So Daragh's going to say it to me. He's going to say to me who he thinks is the best player for each position, and I'll say if I agree, if I disagree, and of course you guys are to get involved in the comments below and let us know who you think should slot into each position. So Daragh, I think we'll start with goalkeeper. It kind of speaks for itself. It's Kyle Walker, isn't it?
Yeah, no, Scott Carson.
Your goalkeeper's Ederson, I imagine.
Yeah. I wouldn't change that. No, not yet.
No, Ederson is a trusty option, so I think that kind of just picks itself, really, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Let's go to
first
name. Right back is a controversial one. Who is it?
Now for me. It's Kyle Walker. Now you'll see what we're going for in a minute, but I'm going to say Kyle Walker. What do you think?
Just to give it a heads up, we're going for the 4-3-3 formation. So 4-3. Kyle Walker. What do I think on that?
Starting right back. What do you think?
I'm cool with it. I'm absolutely cool with it. I know some people like to see Cancelo at right back, but I think Kyle Walker is a perfect right back option. He's really defensively solid, and he may not be as good going forward as Cancelo, but he's not bad. Cancelo is really good at what he does.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right. These two centre backs are going to be these will be as controversial, if not more so. But to play the system we want to play, it would for me be Diaz and Laporte.
Ooh, John Stones, who has had
arguably
the best season. Hold on. He's had arguably the best season of his career at Manchester City, and Laporte has had arguably the worst, even though it's not been bad. He's had probably the worst season he's had in terms of being unfortunate with injury, and not playing maybe as well as he could have done when he is in the pitch. So why did you pick Laporte over Stones?
Well, now the system we're going to play, we're going to have. We're not going to.
You're Pep here. You're Pep here. Remember?
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm sure you can predict that we're gonna have a left back due to the right back. But obviously the left back will be inverted, which means we'll need someone on the left side. And you've seen it with Diaz when he's been put on the left side. It doesn't seem too comfortable. He's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it doesn't seem comfortable when he's on that side, as comfortable as he will be whether he be in the centre or on the right side. So I would have preferably a left-footed player there, like Laporte. That's why I'd want him there. Obviously, Stones is capable enough with either feet, so if he can do that job, then be my guest, throw him in. But I'd have Laporte there.
He's also a left-footed option, isn't he?
Yeah.
We don't have many left-footers in defence, so I suppose he does have that. But listen, like I've said this so many times, we're so fortunate to have so many fantastic centre-back options that I'm perfectly happy with any. It's just that kind of sentimental thing with Stones at the moment. He's just doing so well, and you hate to see him not get involved. But anyway, well, that's your answer, and I'm going to back you with it for now. But like I said, I'm equally happy to see Stones or Laporte play. So left back, who's your left back? Talk about
that. Now I have Cancelo on the left back, right? Now, I love when he plays right back, but he's going to play the same role. So why not have a more defensively sound fullback in Walker than Zinchenko? So that's why I'll have Cancelo there. And he's obviously going to invert. He'll play as the midfielder, attacking midfielder, right winger, whatever he plays usually. He'll play his role. What do you think? What would you say on that now?
I agree, man. This is exactly why I fully backed you on the Walker on the right decision, because I think Cancelo is so good at playing that role and he's so technically gifted that he can do it off either side. He can invert in the right, invert in the left, and he's done it on multiple occasions now this season, and he's done it successfully as well. So, when you play Walker and Zinchenko, who you have to hand to Zinchenko, he's unfortunate to be left out because he's had a good season. When he's called upon, he's done great.
Both brilliant.
Same with Stones.
This is a very hard decision. This is a very hard 11 to put together. It's not straightforward decisions, which it should be, but it just shows.
But when you play Walker. When you play Walker and Zinchenko on the same team, it's very defensively minded because they're both very defensively sound. And Zinchenko, yes, he does usually play as the inverted kind of attacking role when it's him on the left instead of Cancelo. But Cancelo, for me, is far more effective in that role and more creative. But let's move on to the midfield. This is where it starts to get really, really tough because there's so many fantastic options from midfield onwards. And I assume we're going to go with the holding midfielder. Who plays in there?
Well, I don't know why you'd move Rodri, so I'm going to keep him in there. You know, I think he was sound. He's sound even against United. I thought he was quite decent. I can't see why you'd drop him. I love Fernandinho, but Champions League final, mate. You're not throwing in any risks, any really curveballs, eh?
No, I agree 100%. Rodri is the defensive midfielder for me as well. But the only exception to, well, not starting, I think the only way you'd see Fernandinho in a Champions League final for City is if we're 1-0 ahead with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah,
Is that fair enough?
pretty much. Hold on to a
So
lead,
that
break up attacks more so as in break the people up.
exactly, he's just a defensive powerhouse,
Yeah,
Fernandinho, and he's
beast.
got a fantastic experience in pressure situations. So you would call upon him in a Champions League final. But now, two attacking midfielders. So many players who have had great careers at City. So many players who are really in form and finding their feet at the club. Who are you going for? Your two attacking midfielders.
Right. Now, I'm going to say this. If you told me these would have been my midfield options at the start of the season going to a Champions League final, I would have, I don't know what I would have done, right? But I'd have,
Hmm.
starting in the midfield, now you'll see soon enough what we're going about, I'd have Bernardo and Gundogan.
So you're dropping Kevin De Bruyne
I'm
out of
not
a Champions
dropping,
League final?
I'm not dropping Kevin De Bruyne.
Okay, okay. So we're in for a
I'm
bombshell
not,
further on down the road.
yeah.
So why have you gone with Gundogan and De Bruyne? Or
Well, I
Gundogan
mean,
and Bernardo, excuse me.
Gundogan and Bernardo. Bernardo bring in the necessary energy for Gundogan to just be able to float around. You know, I think they both they both complement each other very well, and they have been doing since De Bruyne went out injured. So I'm happy enough to see that. I think that's the most high energy and should be the most successful midfield we can put out.
Yes, absolutely. They do. They complement each other very well. I think they're both quite different players. They both
Yeah,
offer different things to the team. But when you play those two different styles of players together, it can be very effective. I feel De Bruyne and Gundogan, whilst they are different players, they do possess similar
they're
qualities,
both
which
slow
can
paced,
maybe
methodical
overload sometimes.
players. Is what I'd see them
Yes,
as. You know what I mean?
which can maybe be a bit, which is what we were lacking in some big games,
Yeah.
particularly the derby, is pace, which Bernardo does bring. So for you, it's Gundogan and Bernardo.
Yeah.
And I'll back it. I'll back it. I just find it strange to not see Kevin in the
Trust
midfield,
me,
but I'm
trust me,
sure.
bro. You'll see,
Yeah,
you'll
I
see.
trust the process. I trust the process. But before we get there, let's move on to the left wing. Some great options there. Who have you gone for?
On the left wing, I'm gonna have now. Obviously, you can switch between any of these. On the left wing, it would be Sterling on the start.
Really?
He's been. I think you said he's hit or miss. I'd be leaning to more he had a stellar month or two. You say hit and miss, but I think Sterling. Obviously, the Liverpool thing's gonna do him. The when scoring against Liverpool, no matter if it's on the line or not, it's still gonna do him a lot of good. Like it done the team a lot of good up until Sunday. But it's a mental barrier he's got over. I feel he's only gonna get better now.
I don't think Sterling's a completely hit or miss player. I
Oh
just
no, no, I'm just saying
think
we were
he has a
talking about it.
tendency to. He's a fantastic player, and his stats
Hmm.
prove it. He just has a tendency to sometimes make a mess of opportunities. But listen, Sterling, he's also got that leadership quality that you
Yeah,
would absolutely want from all of your players, or as many players as possible, going into a fixture like a Champions League final, which is what we're painting the picture as for this starting 11. This is the scenario we're putting it in for. So before we go to the striker position, who's your right winger?
I'd have Foden, 100%. Can't see why I wouldn't. And again, with Foden and Sterling, they will be playing sort of inverted with, judging by the fact that one's right foot, one's left foot. They can switch sides at will. You know what I mean? They can be wide wingers, they can be inside forwards, inverted wingers, however you want to play it. They'll be there to switch.
Foden is undoubtedly one of the most exciting up and coming talents in world football at the moment. He seems to be just getting better as the months and days go on.
Hmm.
So you want to see him play as much as possible. But I think I'd agree with you. You play him in this situation, but I just want to play devil's advocate for one sec
Go on.
and ask why you haven't picked Mahrez. I think there is an argument for him there that he's an older player, he's more experienced, and I think to be fair to me, he's also a quality player. So
Yeah.
why is he not making your 11?
Well, I mean, he's been consistent over the last month, but has he been consistent throughout the season? I think before this month it was 3 games he had scored in all season. Like that's if you see that stat, that's not when you want to line up in a Champions League final. But if he proves throughout the rest of the season that he can keep performing constantly, then I can't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair enough. It just like we're in a position where we're fortunate to be able to have this argument. I
Exactly.
mean,
Yeah.
like we've got options, we've got squad depth, like the bench. Like there's so many players missing out in the starting 11 who would naturally be on the bench, who would be fantastic impact during a game in the second half if called upon. So Sterling on the left, Foden on the right. Now the final player in the team is the striker or the false nine, whatever you decide to play. Who fits into that role for you?
Now I said that De Bruyne isn't dropped, so you can naturally guess it's going to be here. I'd have him. I'd have him playing false nine. I mean, the first game I really saw him playing false nine was Chelsea away, and they were just. I thought we were brilliant. I thought that was actually in our top three performances this year. We were unbelievable in that game. I think the way he would drop in as well, and it still has Bernardo with the energy in the midfield, so that's Gundogan in the midfield. Caters to everyone. It's not catering around one player. I think it suits the way we should be playing. And even with the false nine, if they were to drop back, the inverted wingers can obviously invert, and then they play a bit more narrow. It's just perfect, you know. I can't see why we've gone back to trying to play with a striker who's not scoring and Jesus, which is why he's dropped on Aguero, whose knees are made of cheese, so he can't exactly start.
Mate, I back it. I love it. I love that team. I fully would back that starting 11 in a Champions League final, to go out and do the
Would you
business. But
change
we're
anything?
gonna. No, I wouldn't. Well, would I change anything?
Come on,
Well, it's
now's
not
your
that I'd
time.
actually go out.
Your time to shine. Come on, would you change anything?
It's not that I would specifically go out to change anything. I'm just saying I would be equally as happy to see some other players fit in, but I'm also happy with your decisions. But no, I do think the strongest 11 is exactly what you named. And I think the majority of people in the comments will agree with us. So to give you that opportunity, we're going to put that full starting 11 we've just picked basically on screen now. Have a good look at it. Tell us what you think, because it's a fantastic debate when you've got a squad with so many fantastic players to talk about this sort of thing and have the debate over who's the best player for each position.
Mm.
So if we were to go to a Champions League final, who is your starting 11? Let us know in the comments below. We're going to wrap it up there. Dara, thank you very much for giving me your favorite City 11. I think it's always a great conversation to have. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. We're getting close to our 150 by the end of March target. So please assist us in that if you enjoy the videos. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.